Okay, hello everybody, I'm Mr. Schweikhofer, and I just want to go over the Rome project that students are just told about and just started to work on today. And for any students out there, hopefully you can review this video so you know what you have to do. First, you got to get to my webpage on the Moran website. Then you want to go to the Digital Library main page. You want to go down to Social Studies, and you can use either link here on the side here or in the main menu box. So I'll click on Social Studies. And then you should get this whole little write-up here about social studies. And you're going to scroll down to all the way down to where it says Shopping in Rome Web Quest. This is the project you're going to do and you'll be working on and what we went over in class today. So I click on that. And then here is the project. So you get the whole project here. When in Rome shop, and this is going to be what you're going to have to do. All right. I'll skip over the introduction again. You can read through that. You can read through the general task. And the general guideline here is you're trying to compare shopping in ancient Rome and the mercantile system they had with today. So how do they shop? How do they survive then? Essentially, going back to the process, you're going to be in one of three groups. So you're going to either be the store architect, the store buyer, or the store manager. If you're the store architect, you're going to be designing a store a Roman way. So whatever you make looks Roman. Again, the model could be just within 2 feet by 2 feet, something even smaller so that you can easily bring it in. To give you some idea of what a Roman store might look like, you can click on the link here and you'll have all these different other links to go through to check out. It gives you some general ideas of Roman architecture. What do they look like? And even if these links take you someplace that is not a store, but just a Roman building, that's fine. Look over the architecture, look over what it used to look like, get some ideas there so you can make whatever it is you're going to make. Please don't go out and buy a kit or buy something, toilet paper rolls, cut them in half, or you can just use them in whole. There are pillars right there. I'm not looking for an art class, but I'm looking for something that when you bring it in, you can explain to me, this is why I made it this way. This is why I think this looks like a Roman model of a store. I want to make that connection to Rome. If you're the buyer, your job for the buyer is going to be, and it gives you right up here, which you certainly can read, it tells you you're going to make items that would go in the store. So your group has to decide what kind of store you're going to have. You're going to have like a food, restaurant type store. Are you going to have like a clothing or textile store? Are you going to have a jewelry store? Are you going to have a book or writing type store? And whatever store you have, you've got links here to tell you what kind of products you could make to be put in there. So for example, you click on a jewelry store, you get some examples of Roman jewelry. And you could certainly make something that you put in your store, some kind of version of it. It doesn't have to be small enough to fit into the model of the store, but just something that you can share this is Roman, this is why it's Roman. Again, it's not an art class. So if you make something and you draw a picture of a Roman god on it, you might say, oh, well, this is a Roman bracelet because it has the Roman god blank on it, and they would wear this kind of celebration, and the patricians would wear this, these are the type of people who would wear it, whatever, so you can explain it. All right, so it doesn't mean that you have to go and actually forge some gold or find some gold in a river or something or anything like that. Please don't go to your parents and take apart their jewelry or anything like that. It's something to represent something you'd make to go there. All right, so same thing with the food store or the restaurant. What is something you could make, a tool they would use in the store, actual food item, what might be something that a Roman would actually use and actually have? Or something you could explain, this represents what a Roman would have. These food items are very important to Romans because they would use it on this occasion, that occasion, or this meal or whatever, okay? So that is what the store buyer would do. The store buyer makes the items to go in the store. The store manager can do a variety of things. A store manager basically manages the store. So you have some links here about daily life. When are you going to open up your store? What is your store going to look like? Where in the city would you put your store? How many people would work there? So here a store manager might make an employee manual. You might make a price list. You might make an overhead design of the neighborhood the store might be in. You might make up some ads that Romans would want in Roman stores. So you're not going to have ads with Justin Bieber on them because he's not around in Roman times. You're not going to have any ads with me on them because, actually I'm old, but not that old. I wasn't around Roman times either. So what would be something that might entice a Roman to come in? Are you trying to advertise your store to a patrician or a plebeian? These are things that the store manager needs to figure out. So you're going to make something to represent, hey, this is a Roman ad, this is a Roman ad because, and explain why. So anything you make, the bottom line is you have to show me or tell us all why it is Roman. Well, I've been saying you have to tell us, and then there's the reason why. You have an oral presentation. Once your group finishes making these 3 parts, they're going to share them with the class. So you need to be able to explain to the class why whatever you brought in is Roman. So you can't say, oh, I picked up this rock and it's Roman because it's an old rock. Okay, why is it Roman? Was it used in some kind of Roman ceremony? Was it used as some kind of particular tool for something? You need to explain it there. Okay, again, it's not an art class. I'm not looking for something to be identical to an actual Roman artifact. Instead, I'm looking for you being able to explain why something is Roman. Beyond the oral presentation, there's also a paper you're going to write. There's some links here, by the way, about the presentation if you get nervous or whatever. There's also a paper you're going to write, and here you're going to write a paper arguing whether shopping in ancient Roman times was better or worse than shopping today. So you can compare the two, discuss the two, and make an argumentative paper giving your viewpoints why one is better than the other. And again, there's some links here to help you out. Finally here, we have an evaluation section. This is very important because if you want to know what do I need to do, or if you're a parent watching this and you want to know what does my son or daughter need to do, you want to go to the evaluation section. And this column here has what needs to be turned in. So the first thing it says here is a model of the shop. And again, the person who's the architect is going to take care of this. So not every student's going to do this. Whoever's an architect's going to do this. The next item is products. Again, not every student's going to do this. Whoever is a store buyer is going to do this. And the final one here that I have this right now is store manager. This is whatever the manager is going to make. So again, these 3, each student is only going to do one of these 3. So if you're the buyer, you're going to do the products. If you're the architect, you're going to make the model of the store. If you're a manager, you're going to do the store management. Okay. Everyone is going to do the rest of it. Everyone will receive a grade for oral presentation, the content. What do you actually say? Is it really Roman? Is it really truthful? Does it make sense? You're also going to get a grade on your oral presentation, the mechanics. And again, I read through here of what you need to do for that. Are you loud? Are you clear? Are you facing the audience? Do you have good eye contact? All the things, is your diction clear? All the things here that you have are mechanics. Okay? And finally is the analytical paper. And again, everyone's writing a paper on their own independently. And here's what I'm grading for on the paper. To get the best grade, you want to go, as with all the rubrics I've given you, in the exemplary line, the 4 point. You want to go down this line, this column right here, rather, and go down this column. This is what you want to really hit. This is the great grades. And in class, you remember I said this would be like an A, accomplish a B, developing a C, beginning more of a D range. And if you're missing a lot of stuff, then we'll go lower than a D, but hopefully no one's ever get lower than a D. So here's what you're going for, the exemplary line. And again, this first column is what you need to do. The first 3, model the shop, the products and the store management. Every student's doing one of those. Everything else you're all doing. Okay? And you have that little conclusion there summing it up. If you'd like to see, going to the top here, if you'd like to see, if you're a parent especially, you'd like to see why we're doing this project, how does it connect to the curriculum, what are the goals here, you can certainly go on the teacher parent page, and then here it goes through and it gives you a background on standards, and the process and how we broke it down and things like that. So you can check that out as well if you'd like. And go back to the student page here. So we're going to start working on this starting March 26th, and it's going to be due sometime in April. You have to listen in class when the due date is. I believe it's somewhere around April 6th or 5th or 6th or so. Don't hold me to that though. I want to see if we have any more snow days or any other changes in the schedule, and also I want to see how the class is doing when we go down and do research and go on these links and start deciding what are we making, what are we doing, and we can kind of gauge a little bit where the whole class is and try to get some ideas about an actual final due date. But you certainly will have a week and a half, 2 weeks to pull this all together. Also, as far as the grades, I have the evaluation here section. I don't have actual points here. The whole thing worth 100 points. Each one will be broken down, and those point totals we talked about in class. So you have to pay attention and listen in class what they each be worth. I will tell you though, like the model of the shop will be worth, or each of these 3 will probably be worth like just 10 points. What really matters is, again, with all the work we do, the thought. The thought you put into the presentation, the thought you put into the paper, those parts will be worth a lot more. So I just mentioned that, but don't go and spend 7 days, spending 10 hours a day making this awesome model of the shop. It's probably only worth about 10% of the overall grade. So instead, spend your time on the paper. Spend your time, and that's probably, again, I have to look at it, probably about 40 points or so. That's going to be the majority of the grade, the paper, the presentation. Spend your time on that, explaining what you did, explaining why it's Roman, and convincing us, and then convincing me in the paper, why is one shopping either modern times better than ancient Rome, or is ancient Rome shopping better than modern times? Okay? If you have any questions, please see me in class. I'll gladly answer them. That's what we're going to be doing every day. That's what I'm here for. And hopefully this little video gives you a little overview on what you have to do for this project. Thank you very much.